still not subscribed to the partition, you know, it's a lot of ways that you can do this besides watching all the content. But before we start, always remember, go to the channels link. Every show that we have, you can always see every show before everybody else see the show. But besides that, always remember, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, put it on all. Until then, always remember, anything is possible. Thank you for choosing the partition. Now let's get into the show. Anything is possible. Peace. She worked at the club I used to work at.
Porn, some people could clock in. And you know, money is money. See, that made it easy, man. My fans know who I am.
My son got me this with my dad, so I can always have him with me whenever I do the show.
Hold on, wait. I want to laugh.
Welcome back to Choppin It Up with LaRon. Today in the studio, I have another guest. This guy is a producer, and he works with a lot of artists. And this man has wonderful work. I want you guys to welcome the one and only. I call him Mr. Vincent. Hey, you know why I said Vincent? I'm gonna tell you why. It reminds me of one of my favorite movies. I'm a big fan of Fright Night, and Peter Vincent. Was the guy that was in the movie. So you say Vincent, I'm like,
there you go.
I said, oh man. So I'm glad to have you on the show. And what I do is whenever I have a new guest, I always tell them to introduce them to my fans, because my fans don't know you and they're going to get to know you. And I know they're going to love you, because me having a short conversation with you a little while ago made it even worse. So kind of give them a little rundown of who you are, and we're going to go from there. And boom, we good.
Yeah, so a lot of people know me as Devious Music, DVOUS Music. That's my my tag on all of my social media. But my videos that I put out, I tell everybody my name is Daniel Vincent, so I'm the man behind the music.
That's right.
So that's Devious Music is my label, and that's what I compose, produce, and collaborate, and do all the marketing and everything for it.
Oh, so you do everything. You
everything.
Do
one man band.
Man, so I got a few questions I do want to ask. Now, first thing I want to know is, do you work with a lot of artists out of like Houston and maybe Dallas or San Antonio, or are your artists in other states?
So I just started working with vocalists. So Ashley Toman is actually the first vocalist I've worked with.
She got a good voice.
Very strong voice.
Man,
pretty voice, pure voice.
Yes.
And so it's kind of interesting how we came to meet. I knew this song that I was working on was a love song, and it wasn't typical for me to have that kind of a song coming out. And I'm like, I need some vocals. I need some lyrics. And an ad popped up on Instagram, and I checked her out, and that's kind of how the story went.
And she said that when I interviewed her, she told me that she do the Instagram, and she put herself up for hire for like writing songs, doing vocals, and that's a smart way to do it, because back in the days, you couldn't do that. It was totally different. You had to know somebody to get it done, or get this to somebody and say, hey man, I got this person that's real good. The way the world has changed is not like it used to be back when you had the Beatles, you had Michael Jackson, you have Gerald Levert, the OJs, all that stuff was totally different. It wasn't the same like it is right now.
Yeah, it's all interconnected now, more than it ever has been. And that's what the really cool thing about it is, that you can build relationships with a lot of even well-known artists out there if you do it right.
And you said well-known artists. So now this is going to take me to my next question. Have you worked with any like big artists so far?
So far I haven't worked with any, big well-known artists. Ashley will be the first one that I've worked with that, she wrote for Shaka Khan.
I saw that. She told me that. I was like, oh man.
And, she actually came out on an album here recently through some guys out of Atlanta called DFD, and the album is actually, I think, charting right now, and like number 9, I believe. I can't remember exactly what genre, but
wow.
Yeah, so you know, she's doing some great things.
Do you ever have to worry about people wanting to come to you to want you to do? I'm assuming you play different instruments when you produce sometimes.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Do you ever have people they try to get you to make a track that's closer to somebody else's track? Like, I want a track, but I want it to sound just like this track right here. I
haven't had anybody do that yet, but that's a good question because there's some good and bad to that.
Okay.
You know, and you know, you listen to an album like the one that The Weeknd put out recently.
Okay.
There's a lot of music in there that it's
been sampled.
It's not necessarily sampled, but he's done it in a creative way. Like you can hear Thriller in there. You can hear, there's I even heard some Information Society in there. Just all kind of things. You can hear pieces of those things, but he didn't sample them. So it's not necessarily a bad thing because it's, there's also this kind of thinking of like using things almost like a collage, like you would in art. So that's not a bad thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I like to, when I listen for music, sometimes I listen to a track, and especially some of the modern day tracks. I told a guy the other day, if you have a hit, and it was a number 1 hit, and you sample that track, 9 times out of 10, your song is going to be a guaranteed hit. And people tell me, no, that is a proven fact. If you sample Shaka Khan, I Feel For You, and you go back and you redo that, it's going to automatically, that track is going to be a number 1 hit. It's because that track has it's called paperweight behind it. So that track is automatically going to do it. And I know like some people, like prime example, what's the guy's name? Bruno Mars and the other guy, they went back and redid Love Train.
Yeah. Yes.
So they went back and redid the whole song. I heard that song 3 times. I heard it from Bruno Mars. I heard it from Drew Hill. A lot of people don't know that they actually went back and redid that song. And then you got the original people. Mm-hmm. You ask me, the original people and Drew Hill actually did. The one they did is fine, but it's the original people and Drew Hill is actually the best one. That's in my opinion.
Yeah.
So being a producer in your field, do you ever have people that want you to cut tracks for like hip hop artists? Because some people may come to you and say, I know you do R&B and you do this. Do you do like country stuff too?
I haven't done any country at all. It's not one of my favorite genres, but I don't put it out of the question.
Okay. Have you did any hip hop, like any hip hop artists?
I haven't done any specific hip hop artists, but I've used some vocal tracks that I actually purchased and did some hip hop work. And I have actually a rap track out there right now that I actually pitched to a couple of rap artists.
You're not rapping on there?
No.
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying if you were, I'm just saying. I was gonna say, hey man, I want to hear this because I don't, because you never know what people can do, and I'm always interested in anything that people do. Now, being in the music, what got you into doing music? Something had to actually spark your brain to make you say, hey, look, I want to start doing music. I want to start doing tracks.
Well, it came whenever I was 6 years old. So I actually had a problem with my brain. I had dyslexia.
Wow.
So where you write numbers backwards or you
I know exactly
numbers.
what you're talking about.
So my parents took me to doctors and they said, get him a keyboard. He has to learn how to play keyboard and learn how to type. So they got me this little electric organ and I hated it. First 4 years, I'm doing all of these like exercises and starting to get into a little bit of classical music. And so my mom had to stand over me all the time to make me practice. So I didn't like it.
Wow.
But then once I got to play like some commercial jingles, like Coke commercials and things like that, and like songs that were out at the time, like YMCA and just different songs that you would hear during that time. Then I started to be like, wow, now I like this because I'm getting to play stuff that I've heard. So then I got into classical music for 12 years. I was training classical music and then got into jazz in college and then played for church, started jazzing up the church music, and the church ladies didn't like that too well. But,
yeah, man, the church, man, you can't.
But
they don't
church is
like
where so much music comes from.
They don't understand that. It's not a bad thing.
No.
Sometimes you want to get your skills. You may come in playing Beethoven, and you finna come out, you finna play something else. You finna go in, and I'm gonna spice it up, man. I'm gonna have it, but they don't understand, especially them church organs, man. Man, I really like that sound that they be having, and when somebody mix that into a track like Kurt Franklin does, man, them tracks actually come out pretty good, and people don't know the music actually starts in the church. Majority of the music comes out of church, like Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, Patti LaBelle. These people, they come out of the church house first before they even go mainstream.
Yeah, I'm friends with a lot of folks online that are artists out there that are they may not necessarily be famous, but they're semi-famous and they're doing well. And they were in choir school together, and they were in church choir together, things like that, or they were in a high school choir together. And they all stuck together. And
doing everything that you do you ever get burnt out? Because, you have to do that. You have to maintain. I'm assuming you're married, correct? Or you finna get married?
We're working on that.
Working on getting married. Working on
yep.
getting married.
Yep.
But, you have to maneuver doing music. You have kids?
No kids.
Oh, man.
But I work a full-time job. I'm a marketing guy.
Man, so you got the marketing, you got the music that you're doing. What is it that's going to be next for you? What's the next thing that you want to do that you haven't did yet?
Well, I really set out with this, coming out publicly with my music during the pandemic. And I was like, why not? Give it a shot. I have some music built up, and let's mix it, master it, put it out there, see what happens. Kind of played around with it as a hobby, but now I want to take it more seriously. Yeah. Because I've gained interest from folks, and I've also met a lot of folks that, it just really gives me a lot of hope about it being something that I could do, because I just love making music.
I know what you mean.
I just love it. And, one of my favorite artists out there that who passed away a little bit over a year ago, Chick Corea.
Wow.
Jazz artist. One of the things that he did that was always amazing is he was so personal in his concerts. Mm-hmm. And he would bring a person up like you and sit them right beside the piano, and he would improvise a song for them just based on what they look like or what he felt about them. Man,
he bring me up on the stage, man. I'm gonna mess around.
That inspires that somebody can do that. So that really got some things going whenever I saw him doing that online during the pandemic. I'm like, I gotta get my stuff out there and see what goes.
And you're right, because a lot of people don't know COVID-19 actually was a gift and it was a curse. We lost a lot of people, but we also a lot of people's lives changed. That taught people, hey, look, you can't rely on getting handouts. You can't rely on the government. You have to go out there and figure out. And actually, if it wasn't worth for the pandemic, this show wouldn't even exist. I actually said, hey,
that's amazing.
This is what I wanted to do. I'm going to do it like this. And it just took off from there. And then from one show to another show to another show, I actually inspired Mikhail Rose to do her show. Because in the beginning, it wasn't like that. Once I got ready to do it, from there, it's been like moving exactly like at a fast pace, man. And I love to try to give people their flowers while they're here, because some people, they don't give people their flowers. And on my show, I wanted to have a show where I look at the underdogs. That's what I call it. The people that is the underdogs, people that people look over and like, oh, ain't nobody. And not knowing like, oh, man, this person is somebody. It doesn't matter if you black, you white, you brown. I don't care what color you are. I'm going to bring you on the show. Man, we're going to sit there. We're going to talk about what we both like and what we experience. And we go from there. And everybody's arts and everybody's talents is good. I have one person that may come on talking about medical. Somebody may be coming on about music. Somebody may come over about technology. Everybody has different stories, but their stories actually keep me going, because everybody is always interesting. And nobody I come in contact with, I don't have a dull or a boring moment. Everything, I love everything that they do. Now, we come to the segment that I like. We call this Leon's Top 5. Leon was a cousin of mine that he got killed in an 18-wheeler last year. And what I do is every episode, I always dedicate this segment to him. What would be your Leon's top 5? It can be an R&B artist. It can be gospel. It can be rap. It can be country. It can be blues, jazz. Who is the top 5 you listen to?
Top 5 I listen to. I listen to Pat Metheny.
Okay.
Jazz artist.
Okay.
I listen to Jean-Michel Jarre.
Okay.
He is basically the father of electronic music.
Okay.
I listen to, I listen to so much music. It's kind of crazy. I like The Weeknd. Okay. I like the things that he does as an artist. I also like, and this is an interesting one, Mannheim Steamroller. Chip Davis.
Wow.
Yeah. If nobody knows who that is, it's interesting.
That's old school.
It's old school. It's old school. And I really follow Antonio Sanchez. I really love his drumming and all of his percussion work. And is that 5? Is that 4?
Yeah, one more.
One more.
Bonus. Yeah, bonus.
And I also really like, I have a friend whose son is a rap artist, Ritz.
Okay.
So I like a lot of Ritz's stuff.
Okay, supporting people is like very, very important because a lot of people don't like to support people and what they do. We spend more time supporting the Beyoncés, the Keith Sweats and the Weeknds and the Kendrick Lamars and the Dr. Dre's, but the little people, they don't support them like they supposed to because the smaller people make just as much as noise as the big people, and then the big people actually steal from the small people. A lot of people they don't know that. A lot of people think Puff Daddy is an awesome producer. Don't know that Puff Daddy find people like yourself, get the track from you, buy it,
yes,
go back, take it, tweak it, boom, he throw the track out. Oh, they say Puff Daddy did that. No, he did not. It didn't work like that. Some people they don't understand that. Same thing with Dr. Dre. Just because Dr. Dre do a track don't mean he does the whole thing. Somebody may give him a nice track, like I was telling somebody the other day about the Still Dre track that was did by Scott Storch. He put his tweak on there, but he didn't do the whole track by himself. He got it from him. He went in and did what he needed to do, added what he wanted to add in there. Boom, that go the actual track.
Well, it's funny you mention that because I was listening to a podcast that Questlove has.
Oh man!
And love Questlove. He did a whole segment with Pat Metheny, and he told Pat, he goes, "Do you realize that there's one of your albums out there that is just huge in the hip hop world? It's been sampled and everything else." And Pat's like, "I have no idea. I didn't know. A big artist didn't know that his work was being used from one of his albums."
He got money out there he don't even know.
Right. So it's perfect example of there's artists out there at all levels. It's like I said, it's almost like a collage.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's definitely right.
Yep.
Now, how can the people find you on social media?
The way you look me up is DVOUS Music.
Okay. And that's on,
Devious Music.
That's on Facebook and
Instagram, Twitter, TikTok.
Whoa.
And YouTube.
Hold on. You got a TikTok? I
got a TikTok.
Do you be doing dances?
I'm ticking and talking somehow. I don't know what I'm doing with it yet, but I just started it probably a couple months ago.
Man, they've been telling me to TikTok, but I was like, man, I don't want to get there. They say, yeah, man, you got to keep up with the times, man. I barely got Instagram because they told me to get one of them. So I said, all right, let me go ahead and get the Instagram. Now, if the people want to get any music, they want to get produced, they want to get any tracks, they just inbox you.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't inbox the man and ask the man, can you get a track for $100? People ask the type of stuff, can I get something for $100? They'll be like, hey, can you do $50 and get $20? No. Good work ain't cheap. Cheap work ain't good.
That's right.
Yeah, some people, they do not understand that because you get what you pay for. If you pay $12,000, you got yourself something. You better be lucky that you get it for $12,000. You ever have people to tell you, make me a track, but when you make me the track, I want all the rights to the track. I don't want to share it with you.
Mm-hmm.
People do that.
Yep.
What do you say to them that actually try to do that, try to pull something like that on you?
Well, there's good, fast, and cheap.
Okay.
Okay, so you can have something that's good. It's not going to be fast, and it's not going to be cheap.
All right. That's it.
That's pretty much it.
You don't want the good, fast, cheap, you stay away.
Right.
That's the way it is.
If you go to McDonald's and that's the kind of food you want, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get what you pay for.
If you want to go down.
If you want the steak dinner, then it's, you're going to have to wait for it. And
But it's going to be good once it comes.
Right.
Okay, well, I definitely enjoyed you, and I will have you back on a future episode. Until next time, always remember, anything is possible. Thank you guys for choosing Chopping It Up with Lil Ron. Until next time, we out. Peace.